I want y'all to tag Kiki. I want whatever I name Kiki, the one who made the status. I want all of it. I want attention from everybody.
Imagine bringing up a child for 16 years, only to discover that she's not biologically yours. The real father, absent for years, turns up and does the unthinkable. How far would a man go in manipulating the trust of an innocent child? And how does one go on after the unimaginable surfaces and the one you protected all these years becomes prey to the person you considered family? This shocking story from New Liberia, Louisiana, will blow your mind about everything you thought you knew about family and trust. This isn't just a tragic story. It is one of those horrific nightmares that scream volumes about betrayal, grooming, and deep emotional scarring at the hands of a predator who was meant to protect. A father, now forced to relive that kind of pain of betrayal, to not only have to come to terms with the fact that his daughter was taken from him, but also in the manipulative manner in which she was groomed into this sick relationship by the man she thought was her biological father, is a deep and powerful story of emotional turmoil that can be placed on an individual in such a twisted situation. A father identified as Harris Douglas opened up about the distressing reality of his daughter's life. After being raised by him for years, Keisha reunites with her father, William K., a man with a dangerous past. Harris had kept in contact and developed a loving relationship with his daughter. It wasn't until some shocking revelations blew up that everything started to spiral out of control.
I always keep in touch with her, And they had a lot of people telling me, man, Horace, man, I don't like how Keisha be underneath that man.
In emotional conversations with Keisha, Harris would reassure her, "Daddy's not mad at you." Still, it was clear that the unconscious betrayals ran far deeper than either of them realized. Keisha has shared with him that she is ashamed and scared of what everybody else thinks about her, illustrating the psychological effect on both father and daughter. What if you found out that your daughter's supposed protector turned out to be a threat to her? What does it mean to be a father at a time when lines have been so brutally crossed? The next part of the story exposes the sickening dynamic and the chilling messages exchanged. A woman named Kiki chose to speak of her boyfriend, most of it on social media. Kiki's posts suggested terrible relations between Keisha and her biological father, which have been going on and were kept under wraps for years.
A woman named Kiki had tagged the daughter. Of course, I blurred out her name. She went to Facebook and said the following: "Man, say, this is crazy. When an end you love, William DeCurr, with green eyes, been in a secret relationship with this so-called daughter."
Kiki went further on social media to bring out Keisha's intimate messages with her biological father, who posed as being a father to her and at the same time her romantic partner. Comments full of laughter and mockery spoke volumes of their disturbing relationship. "Can you believe everyone thought you were his daughter?" Kiki joked in one of her posts, downplaying the seriousness of it. This was more than just the questionable messages from him. It was the unveiling of a manipulative dynamic, making a father-daughter relationship into something ugly. Keisha's feelings revealed the grave truth of grooming and emotional manipulation.
Fam, she released a letter, and you could tell this poor teenager was grown to this sick stuff.
How would the father protect his daughter, even when that very notion of love and protection has been violated? What can be done if that sacred trust has been broken? The father's tale underlines the dark underside of relationships in a family. The more Harris learned about the full scale of what had happened to Keisha, the more he was forced to confront an uncomfortable reality. She would have been most trusting, believing herself to be reconnecting with a father when, in fact, she was being lied to. And the biological father's predatory past came to light, one that should have prevented him from having contact with Keisha. In trying to understand, Harris explained, "I understand how y'all go about raising children, but this relationship was anything but normal, and it was increasingly clear. This feeling of dread that he was going to lose his daughter forever kept haunting him. I ain't trying to lose my child because of my hurt," Harris lamented in a voice that reflected a battle between emotional turmoil and the protective instincts of a father. What happens when family ties become a tool for manipulation? What does it mean to protect a child against their deemed protector? The emotional struggle was thick, as Harris described how Keisha was taken from him. A bond he nurtured was broken by the emergence of her biological father, twisting her perceptions of love and trust. "I was hurt because I didn't just take care of her for 16 years," said Harris, showing the anguish of a fathered betrayal. Her innocence was stripped away the moment Keisha was groomed to think that this man could mean more than her father. As the story unraveled, the motivations of Kiki did raise further questions about whether this was a need for attention or a case for justice on behalf of Keisha. Whichever the case may be, what Horace needed to do was protect his daughter through this emotional minefield, handling social scrutiny weighing heavy upon their shoulders. Where does a father draw the strength from to fight an abuse that was wrapped in paternal love? As the pieces of this tragic story come together, the quest for Keisha's justice becomes ever clearer. Horace couldn't hide the pain while narrating those heart-wrenching moments he had shared with Keisha, fighting her guilt. Sobbing, she cried, "I am so sorry. I don't understand anything," looking for assurance from her father. "Nobody ain't gonna look at you differently," he promised, insisting that the familial love would stand tall amidst the chaos. Despite the emotional scars, Harris went ahead to assure Keisha and urged her to break loose from her biological father.
Tell Keisha come home, get away from that situation. And my baby keeps saying, "Daddy, I'm not coming home. Like, Daddy, I don't want to come to the B because I don't want nobody looking at me differently. I don't want nobody this and that."
Adding to his inner turmoil was his thinking of the man who had hurt his daughter. It was either they had to face the perpetrator or maintain peace for the sake of the family. "How my life is set up right now, man. I'm at peace," he said, contrasting those sentiments with rage just below the surface.
I wanna do something badly to dude, bruh. But how my life set up right now, man, I'm at peace.
What becomes of a family if at the very core, trust has been undermined? As healing begins to take place, so do the effects of such dark revelations. As the days unfolded and the fallout from Kiki's social media exposure manifested, Harris found renewed purpose. He reached out to his daughter, attempting to empower her by connecting with supportive communities. "You got to get away from that situation," he urged Keisha, while emphasizing the crucial understanding that many had faced similar predicaments, although in different forms. Harris insisted on continuing calls in solidarity with Keisha. He said that the full mental implications of this manipulation would take some time and understanding to sort out. He went on to criticize blame the victim's social attitudes, adding that negativity towards Keisha reflected failures in societal mechanisms to provide support systems to deal with such abuses. He urged them to keep an open mind and stop judging because most victims were usually driven to a corner. "You got to understand her mind was not there," Harris pleaded to illustrate what comes as a result of grooming and sexual exploitation. In a world where sympathy often gives way to becoming judgmental, how can we redefine support for the victims? As the mist clears, the call for understanding echoes louder. As Harris articulated his heartache and anger, a powerful plea emerged, a rallying call for empathy, understanding, and action against the very real dangers lurking in familial dynamics. "At the end of the day, we've got to do better," he stated, highlighting the need for societal change concerning abuse, especially in familial relationships. It is in this torn emotional terrain that one has to find their way out, not lose sight of recovery, justice, and protection. Harris reminded them that behind each story is a more profound truth that awaits any action. The gravity of this situation is unimaginable, and the relentless love by Harris toward Keisha keeps them attached, even when the storm is at its mightiest. But their journey of healing and justice has so much to tackle, and at the cornerstone of their fight against the dark, looming over them, lay a bond forged in love. If this story resonated with you or believe in advocating for victims, like and subscribe for more discussions like this on my YouTube channel. Together, we can raise awareness and foster a community of understanding as we tackle these difficult narratives.